Okay, so Adrian Newey was asked about the future of F1 cars and things like this, and he said that he would advocate F1 introducing much smaller and lighter cars. Now, because we had this before back in the in the zeros or the noughties, however you want to call it, when we had cars that were smaller, lighter, a bit more agile than they are now. And um and I, I actually thought it was quite a good era because you had a lot more pace in terms of cars overtaking each other. You had a lot more competitiveness. Cars weren't so big and cumbersome as they are now, although they're, of course, they're still fast, but I felt they were a bit more agile when they were smaller and lighter. And have Max Verstappen, who was asked about street races, and he said that he finds them more boring than regular races. I don't know how I don't know how he finds F1 racing boring. I guess he does. But anyway, that's another debate. He says that he finds the street circuits boring because the cars are far too big and cumbersome to go around the street tracks, and he thinks that it's not as enjoyable to have an F1 car on a street track than it does on a regular F1 circuit. So, he's actually looking, could be saying, it could actually benefit the sport in other ways as well, because if you have smaller, lighter cars, it means they're going to be more competitive on the tight and twisty, turny street races and things like this. So that's also a good thing. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. Do you think we should go back to lighter, smaller cars? I mean, personally, I think they should go back to the days when engines were engines and you could just put whatever you like in it. But anyway, that's just my own personal thought. Let me know what you think about that. Do you think the car should be smaller or lighter? Do you think it would benefit the sport in any way, or are you happy with things the way they are? And just one more thing before I go, I want to talk about helmets, because somebody else on Twitter also said that they're getting a bit fed up with all these different designs of helmets that drivers come out with in every race. George Russell has just revealed his new lid for the Grand Prix in Suzuka. He's showing off his new Chinese inspired helmet, and I have to say, it doesn't make it special anymore. I mean, there used to be a time, I can't remember who it was now, but some drivers had their helmets the same because it was a lucky thing. It was a luck thing. It was a superstition. They never changed their helmets, and certain helmets went with certain drivers. Such as Damon Hill, things like that, with his father's his take on his father's helmet. So there were lots of times in the past when helmets were special to a certain person, and you knew who a driver was just by looking at his helmet. But of course, that's not the case anymore now because they're changing so often. So let me know what you think about that as well. Do you think it's fine that drivers are changing their helmets design all the time, or do you think that you preferred it the old days when a driver had a style of helmet and he stuck to it, and you knew who he was, and it was just plain and simple? Let me know down in the comment section what you think.